Howdy everyone! We're going to calculate the limit of a rational function as x is heading off to infinity. And we're looking at the case of equal degrees, where the degree of the polynomial on top is the same as the degree of the polynomial on the bottom. And we'll show you two ways to handle this. All right, here's our example. We're going to look at the limit of this guy right here, x to the 7th, 2x to the 7th plus etc., all over x to the 7th plus etc., as x goes to infinity. Now, one way to do this is the following trick. This is sort of the first way you often learn how to do these, is you factor out the highest degree polynomial that you've got here. So that'll be x to the 7th on the top and x to the 7th on the bottom here. And what's left is a 2 plus a 1 over x to the 6th plus a 1 over x to the 7th. And then on the bottom you have a 1 plus 8 over x squared. So x, that's what's left when you factor things out. And you see we have this great cancellation going on, and that makes things pretty easy to work with. Because now on the top we have 2 plus 1 over x to the 6th plus 1 over x to the 7th all over 1 plus 8 over x squared. And we know as x goes to infinity, as it gets huge, 1 over x will be heading to 0. And so will x to this 1 over x to the 6th, even faster. So that's going to 0. 1 over x to the 7th will be going to 0. And 8 over x squared will be going to 0. So the only thing that survives is just the 2 on the top and the 1. So the answer is 2. Okay? So that's one way to do it, and it's a little more rigorous, at least when you first learn this. Another approach would be the following. If you take the original problem, the limit as x goes to infinity of, what was it, 2x to the 7th plus x plus 1 all over x to the 7th plus 8x to the 5th. All right, so one way to think about this is that since x is going to infinity, the larger and larger it gets, the more pronounced the following effect is this x to the 7th in the top starts to be the only term that really matters. And on the bottom, similarly, as x gets bigger and bigger as you go to infinity, the only terms that really matter are those x to the 7ths. This little puny x to the 1 here, it hardly will matter when you plug in billions and billions and billions for x and take the 7th power. You'll hardly notice that you added, another billion to it. The 1 will hardly matter. The x to the 5th will hardly matter. So there are theorems that say this is a legal thing about the asymptotics of this. But it really makes sense that when you're going to infinity, eventually, the only terms that are going to have any significant impact are the top degree terms here. And so once you realize that, then these cancel, and all that's left is just the 2. And so that's why the answer is 2. All right, that's it. Ciao.